Hello, my dear friends. I am Dr. Wasim I Khan, Assistant Professor, Sri Shivaji Law College, Parbhani, Maharashtra, India. So, in today's lecture, we will discuss the introduction, meaning, definition, and objects of law of tort. So, the entire scenario we will discuss in this particular lecture. So, let's start the topic. Tort, meaning, definition, and objects. So we will discuss in this particular lecture the meaning of tort, definition of tort, and what are the different objects behind the tort. So first of all, we will discuss the introduction. So the word tort is of a French origin and is equivalent of the English word wrong. So that is, the term tort is originated from the French language, and this particular word is equivalent of the English word wrong. So whatever the English word wrong is having a meaning, the tort is also having the same meaning. So the word tort is French origin and it is equivalent of the English word wrong. It is derived from the Latin word tortum, which means twisted or crooked act. So this particular word tort is derived from the Latin word tortum, and the very meaning of this word is the twisted or crooked, the act which is not a straight one, the act which is a crooked one, which is a twisted one. If the act is a straight, it will be a lawful act. If the act is a twisted one, if the act is a crooked one, it will be called as a tort. So the Latin word tortum means twisted or crooked act. Next one is, it implies conduct that is twisted or crooked. So tort means a conduct which is not a straight one, the conduct which is a crooked one. That is called a tort. A person who commits tort is known as a tortfeasor or a wrongdoer. So the person who commits a tort will be known as a wrongdoer and tortfeasor. The person who has committed a tort will be called as a wrongdoer and tortfeasor, and his wrongful act is called a tortious act. So whatever the wrongful act done by the person, a defendant, this wrongful act will be called as a tortious act. Now we will move towards the meaning of tort. The very meaning of tort is, Encyclopedia of the Laws of England states that what we now understand by a tort is a breach of some duty between citizens defined by the general laws which creates a civil cause of action. So according to Encyclopedias of Laws of England, the meaning of tort is a breach of some duty between citizens. So whatever the duties are between the citizen, if any person commits any kind of breach of such a particular duty, defined by the general law, and if that particular duty is defined by the general law, for example, if any duty is defined by the general law and if the person commits breach of such a duty which creates a civil cause of action. Suppose if I have to enter into the premises of any person, I must seek a prior permission of that person. Suppose if I want to enter into your house, I must seek your prior permission before entering to your house. But suppose if I enter into your house without your permission, then it amounts to a breach of duty which is defined by the law and which creates a civil cause of action. Suppose if I enter into your premises without your permission, you are entitled to file a suit against me and you can claim a compensation. So meaning of tort is a breach of duty which is defined by the general law. Another meaning of tort is commonly used to mean a breach of duty amounting to a civil wrong. So tort is nothing but a breach of duty which amounts to a civil wrong. So whenever I breach any such kind of duty, the result of such breach of duty is to a civil wrong. Suppose if I have committed any kind of breach in my duty and if you file a suit against me in a civil court, it amounts to a tort. So whenever breach of duty is there, the person is entitled to file a suit against the person who has committed a breach of duty and he is entitled to claim compensation. Next one is, at a general level, tort is concerned with allocation of responsibility for losses which are bound to occur in society. So we know very well, if we are living in society, there may be a possibility that the breach of duty may be there. The person may breach their duty, and whenever the person breach their duty, then they will be held responsible, and the person who has sustained a loss due to the breach of duty will be entitled to get such a loss from the person who has committed a breach of duty. So that is the meaning of tort. Now definition is there. According to Salmon, tort is a civil wrong for which the remedy is a common law action for unliquidated damages. So tort is nothing but a civil wrong, and if there is a civil wrong, the remedy is a common law action for unliquidated damages. Suppose if there is a civil wrong, if any person has committed a civil wrong, then the other person is entitled to file a suit for unliquidated damages. He can file a suit in a civil court and he will be entitled to get unliquidated damages, and which is not exclusively the breach of trust or other mere equitable obligation. So tort is other than breach of trust and breach of contract. So tort is different. Breach of trust and breach of contract is different. Tort is different. So whenever any person has committed any civil wrong, the remedy against that civil wrong is the suit for unliquidated damages. And unliquidated damages means the damages which are not fixed one. If the damages are fixed one, that is called liquidated damages. But in case of a tort, the damages are not a fixed one. Unliquidated damages are there. Next one is, Winfield defines the term tort. Tortious liability arises from the breach of a duty primarily fixed by the law. So the tortious liability arises from the breach of duty which is primarily fixed by the law. Whatever the duty which is fixed by the law, if that duty is breached, then a liability arises, and that is called a tort. So suppose if any person has commits a breach in such a duty which is fixed by the law, he will be held liable for the tort. This duty is towards a person generally, and in tort, whatever the duty which is fixed by the law, that duty is towards a person generally, not towards a specific person. And its breach is redressable by an action for unliquidated damages. So whenever a person commits any kind of breach of his public duty, then that particular breach of duty is redressable by an action for unliquidated damages. Suppose if you have committed a breach of duty due to which I sustained a loss, then I will be entitled, I am having a right to file a suit against you and claim unliquidated damages. That is the definition of Winfield. Next definition of Fraser is that a tort is infringement of a legal right in realm of a private individual, giving a right of compensation of the suit of the injured party. So according to Fraser, tort is nothing but an infringement of a legal right, violation of a legal right in realm. The right which is available against the society. Right in realm means right available against the entire society. If such right is being violated, then due to the violation of that right, the person will get the right to file a suit before the court of law and claim a compensation. Suppose if my legal right is violated, then I will be entitled to file a suit against you. If you have violated my legal right, I will be entitled to file a suit against you and can claim a compensation. So that is the definition of tort as per these three authors. Now objectives of law of torts. The first objective of law of tort is to determine the rights between parties to dispute. So the first very main objects of law of tort is to determine the rights between parties to dispute. So whenever there is a dispute between two parties regarding the declaration of right, whose right is violated and who has violated the right. So to determine the dispute between the parties, law of tort is there. Suppose if one person has filed a suit against another and it is the contention of the plaintiff that defendant has violated the legal right of plaintiff, then court will decide the dispute between the two parties. Court will decide the dispute between the two parties. That is the very aim of law of tort. Second aim of law of tort is to protect certain rights recognized by the law. So whatever the rights recognized by the law, for the purpose of providing a protection to those rights, law of tort is there. Next one is to prevent the continuation or repetition of harm. Suppose if any person has sustained a loss due to the breach of duty of one person, then not only the court will provide a compensation to the plaintiff against such a breach of duty, but the court will prevent the defendant to do the same act in future, to repeat the same act in future. So to prevent the continuation or repetition of harm is also one of the aim of law of tort. Next one is to restore the property to its rightful owner. Another aim and objective of law of tort is to restore the property to its rightful owner. Sometimes the real owner of any property get dispossessed from his property. Suppose if I am having a certain plot, if I am having a certain land and someone else has dispossessed me from that particular land, someone else has taken a possession of my land, then I will be entitled to file a suit against that person and I can claim a recovery of possession. So the law of tort will restore me the property because I am the rightful owner. Being an owner, it is my legal right to have a possession of that land. So the very aim of law of tort is to restore the property to its rightful owner. So these are the certain objectives of law of tort. In next lecture, we will discuss essentials of tort. I hope you understand what is mean by tort, what is the definition of tort and aims and objective of tort. If you understand, please subscribe my channel, hit the notification button, hit the like button and share this video with your friends. Thank you very much.